What is up, hammerheads? Welcome back to the Forge. Today we're talking about fire starting necklaces. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I wanted to talk to you today about these survival necklaces that I make. I started making them last year, and I started out with 5160 spring steel, and I was making them all look like leaves. And then I started figuring out other designs over the course of the year once I kind of ran the test run on them and seeing how much people liked them. Let me tell you the reason why I made these, and then I'll get into a little more about how they work and everything. I started making these because I started seeing other companies selling ferro rod strikers, but they were just ugly. They didn't have any style to them. It was just like it was one of these little toggles, and then like a little piece of ceramic or just like a little piece of steel. And I didn't like it. It was just ugly. And so I started kind of coming up with some designs, and I'm still making more designs. My newest designs that I started making this year was the crosses. And with the cross, I have, let's see, there we go, the mustard seed on the inside. It's UV resined in. I have the axe and tomahawk heads, which these were a huge hit at blade shows, so I'll be making a ton more of these. They sold out. That's the last one I have, and that was the prototype. And also, one of my favorites is the arrowheads. And these are hardened 5160 spring steel arrowheads. You could lashing it to a stick and make you a little arrow or something like that if you needed to out in the woods. Now, the tips on all of them are blunt because I don't want to take a chance of somebody stabbing themselves in the chest. But it is sharp enough that if you had to use it as a small gig or was able to shoot it at something, I'm pretty sure it would penetrate depending on how much force you could put behind it. But I wanted to do a video talking about them because it dawned on me after Blade Show and a couple months back that I've sold quite a few of these and never really told a lot of people how they work and all the components of them. So, breaking down the components of everything you get with the necklace. Says for the arrowhead, you'll get a little extra cordage. You get a 5160 spring steel striker. You get a backup ferro rod. I don't claim for this to be your primary ferro rod. This is if you got lost, you lost your ferro rod, it broke, you lost your other ignition that you were using, such as a lighter, matches, whatever, you have something. The cordage itself is a fire cordage of some kind. Still have a little bit of very thin fire cordage that would be like for zipper pulls that I did for some necklaces, and I liked how thin it was. And then I've been really using a lot of this 550 cordage that has the impregnated fire starting piece on the inside, which let me grab this one and I'll show it to you. Yep, I carry a Swiss Army knife. As you can see, it has your strands and it has the red impregnated piece there. And we'll actually strike it up here in a second. I'm going to show where each one strikes at also. But that's what comes with them. It says for the arrowhead, the way that I attach the necklace piece, I take hemp cordage and wrap it about 8 or 9 times and then tie it off on the back. So it gives you some extra cordage if you needed to tie it off on something, if you were making an arrowhead or a small spear. Sorry guys, lost my train of thought. So each one of these has a different spot you can strike on. I specifically made the striker for the arrowheads on the back of the arrowhead, so you would not worry about messing up the front and not being able to strike it after you've had to like gig a fish or a frog or whatever, and you rounded over an edge or something weird happened and you missed. You still have the ability to make a fire because it's on the back and it will be protected by the wood. So those, and I'm using a regular, just small ferro rod, and it just strikes on the back of it. It's left or right-handed. I try to make everything ambidextrous all the way around. The crosses, again, are 5160 spring steel, and I always make the striker at the bottom. So when it hangs, you can feel that burr for the 90-degree edge. The axes in the tomahawk, it will be on the blade, and it will work either direction. So if you're left or right-handed, I'm left-handed, so it's hard for me to do this direction. And then on the leaves, I generally try to go all the way around the leaf. But with the leaf also, yeah, there we go. With the leaf also, if you had to use it as an arrowhead, you could seat this down into a stick. Just be careful that you don't break off the stem of it back here in the back. Let me get stuff set up, guys, and we will strike and ignite some of the fire cordage. All right, guys, so I'm just getting this piece fluffed up real good. And the more surface area you have for your spark to land on, the more success you're gonna have. Get on, mosquito. Ooh, moved it around. Hard to do this on the anvil, guys. Get some of that fluffed up right there. There we go. As you can see, it catches up really quick if you have it fluffed up. Alright guys, so I just grabbed a wooden dowel that I have up here, and I'm going to take my multi-tool and I'm going to cut a groove in the top for this arrowhead. Now this dowel might be a little too big. Alright guys, so I got the groove cut in, and like I said, the arrowhead comes with some hemp cordage that you can use to tie this off with if you need to, if you're using the rest of your necklace for making, you know, something for fishing or whatever. Now I can say I'm no expert at tying up arrowheads. Something I want to learn how to do and be able to do it upright. Probably could have went a little bit further down in there, but just for demonstration purposes, guys. Whoa. Okay. I don't know how I did that. Just flung one of my necklaces across the room. But just with a little bit of effort, and like I said, I'm using a dowel that I found up here in the shop. I've made a basic little spear point that I could use if I had to gig with it, or even for defensive purposes. If I knew that I was going to need, I could sharpen out this edge a little bit more and then put this in the front. So if I knew if I had to stab something bigger that was coming at me, I could, and use that metal point for the primary point going into whatever animal that was. Grab this out. Flung that over in the wood ash. But yeah, guys, just making sure I'm still in frame. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to show a quick video on how to use the strikers that I sell. And if you end up buying one that's not a cross, or the other items that I showed, you know, the cross, the axe, or tomahawk head, the leaf, or the arrowhead, you can feel that 90-degree burr on it. If you see it wrapped with jute twine around the top, 99% of the time, that is going to be an arrowhead of some kind, and the striker will be behind that. And I always keep it up towards right past the split up here at the top of the arrowhead. or what I'm calling the top of the Arrowhead. Alright guys, so that's the video. Like I said, I just wanted to show you and get the word out, I guess, because I've never really told anybody how to use the strikers unless someone specifically asked at Blade Show and other places I've sold them. And I sold one on Etsy the other day, and it dawned on me, this person's never talked to me, so they might really not know how the strikers work. So I wanted to go through just the basics of how the strikers work and what you got with it. I guess it's kind of a commercial video, but I wanted to talk about how these work. So if someone went out to use them, I would hate for someone to go out in the woods and assume they knew how this worked and it not work out. But guys, like I said, that's the video. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to throw them in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Keep hammering.